Hi everyone, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my usual wrap up for the month. For this month it's going to be obviously for February, and I am pretty pleased with my February reading. Normally February is my slump month. I don't know what it is. I think it's just being tired from all the January wrap up video stuff. So I'm normally exhausted by February. I normally read 0 to 2 books, but this month I was able to read 4, which is honestly probably the most books I've ever read in a February. So I cannot complain at all. So without further ado, let's get into what I read. So first, going over manga, I read Witch Hat Kitchen Volume 2, and this is a spin-off of the Witch Hat Altair series by Kamome Shirahama. And so Witch Hat Altair is this adult fantasy manga series. The main character is Coco, who is discovering the world of witches in her fantasy realm. Witchcraft is kind of like this secretive thing. Not anybody can just be a witch. She somehow stumbles into being able to become a witch, and her trials and tribulations just get darker and darker. It's a really, really beautifully drawn series, but it's also so good and complex and full of all this depth. And reading this series is such a great reprieve from the main series. This is like the cozy slice of life section, and it just really supplements Witch Hat Altair super well. So I have a feeling that those cozy moments that we got earlier in the Witch Hat Altair series are going to be pretty fleeting going forward. But yes, Witch Hat Kitchen, it's basically just a cookbook or just like a slice of life about cooking. But of course there are magical ingredients, there's little stories going along with it. It's super sweet, super lovely. I recommend the original series as well. You do have to read the original series, I feel like, to understand the characters in here, but this is absolutely fun, lovely, wonderful, really great. The next book I read was a non-fiction. I read Angela Davis's Freedom is a Constant Struggle. This is a collection of, I believe they're all speeches. There might be a couple essays in here, but I believe mostly they are speeches that Angela has given. And these are speeches about race, about feminism, about Palestine, about police brutality and the prison industrial complex. Reason why Angela Davis is such a great activist, she's very effective about how she delivers her information, about how she puts all these points together. This is really interesting because I believe most of these are from right before 2014, right in the end of the Obama era. So it's just very interesting to see what things have changed, what things have kind of stayed the same that she was fighting for 10 years ago. But yeah, this is really effective. I highly recommend the audiobook because she narrates it herself, and that is always a great thing to listen to. But yes, a very effective collection of essays slash speeches, highly recommend. Then the next thing I read getting into my novels is going to be Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the second book in the Truth Witch series, and this is a young adult fantasy novel, and I would say it's very high action, very fast paced. The tone for the series is pretty consistently one thing after another. Our main characters getting into trouble, one thing after another. It is also multiple perspectives, so it's a lot of the characters getting separated, coming back together, crossing paths, that kind of thing. And there's a lot to really enjoy about this. It's got complex characters that are dealing with internal things while also dealing with this fast-paced political plot. Again, it's action-paced, it's going to keep you on your feet, it's going to keep you entertained. There's just a lot of good stuff being done in this series. Unfortunately, I didn't quite like it as much as Truth Witch, and that's for a couple reasons. One, I think I was just like not in the headspace to deal with like a heavier fantasy novel. I needed a little bit of a break. The other thing is that I am desperate for more lore. I need to know more about what's going on. It's so fast-paced, it's so action-packed, it's very much going from one place to another and watching that travel. Again, it's multiple perspectives and it's switching perspectives a lot. It just makes it feel really choppy. It makes it feel a little bit sloggy because we're watching all of this travel. And in a lot of respects, I can see why we're seeing these things, why we have to see the characters on their like specific journeys about the travel and stuff. I feel like this series would be beneficial from more time skips, from having the perspectives sat in a little bit longer before switching. And the other thing is that I am desperate, so incredibly desperate for more world building. I feel like I kind of know the political landscape. I feel like I kind of understand the countries, but I want more of it. I want to understand more. I want more mythology, more lore. It seems to be hinted at that it's there, but I need more of it. There is a deep magic system that's really complex that we haven't gotten into either. I just feel like I need a little bit more to grasp onto to make this world more specific and not just like a high fantasy world. So yeah, while I like the characters, while I enjoy the fast-paced plot, I am just desperate to get more of that setting, more of that world building to kind of round out everything. I know it's there, I just need to see it in action explained, I guess. So editing Courtney here, this is the point where my video got corrupted, and so I have to continue on from here. I don't know what happened, like the audio for this video didn't work, like just this video. Anyway, this ended up being an okay thing because the next book I talked about is Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, and I actually do want to do a review of this and discuss it more there, so it's kind of good that I got cut off because I did talk a lot about this book. But basically, this is historical fiction, romance, and it's got some rom-com elements to it. Basically, I was feeling the slump coming on. I had so many like heavy sci-fi fantasy books. I needed something fun, something silly, and this provided that. This is a sapphic Victorian historical fiction romance novel. So it's, you know, it's got the angst, the melodrama. And kind of the big plot point in here is that one of our main characters is a lady who just does not want to marry. She's rich, she's well off, she has no reason to marry. So she just kind of goes around just having a good time during her seasons. I believe this is her like 4th season. And then we have Beth, who is coming into her 1st season, a late 1st season. Her father has just passed away, and her mom have to get Beth settled with a husband really quick because they were not left with any money or a house. So like they're pretty much screwed, and Beth doesn't really want to get married either. She's just not really interested in anybody that she's coming across, but she does become Gwen's best friend, and they realize that there's something going on between their mom and dad, and that there's a history there, there's some tension there, so they decide we should just get them together. It would solve all our problems and also make them happy. They both deserve a happy love life because they didn't really get that, and so very schemey. I would have liked a little bit more schemey. It does about halfway through, once we get into their romance, it kind of goes away from the scheming and gets into more like angst and melodrama, and like, you know, the situation of two women not being allowed to be together and some other factors that are pulling them apart. And I like that. I liked it a lot, but it just went on for a tad too long. But I will discuss more of my thoughts and opinions on this because I really, really did enjoy it. Really, really fun. Definitely got me out of my slump. What I needed in the moment. Highly, highly recommend. And yeah, I can't wait to talk review for this because I just think more people should read this, and I don't think I've seen any reviews of it. So, but yes, that actually wraps up everything that I read for this month. Sorry to end in this format, but thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you read this month, what you enjoyed. I would love to know. And as always, happy reading.